Am I the jerk for interrupting my husband's live stream and going off on him after he forgot to feed and change our daughter's diaper? I'm 32-year-old female, my 35-year husband old. I have a YouTube channel with over 14K followers. He's been doing live streaming a lot lately, even though I told him that we have responsibilities to take care of. Before our daughter, she's 7 months old, was born, he'd stream randomly and spend a lot of time with his followers, answering questions and engaging in conversations. He keeps saying that his followers are good for his mental health and that engaging with them weekly makes him better at socializing and communicating. He's been complaining about wanting to do a live stream for days. I told him we'd look at our schedule and see if we could get him some time to make it happen. This wasn't good enough. Yesterday I had to go grocery shopping and asked him to keep an eye on our daughter while she was asleep. He said okay. I was gone for 4 hours but kept calling him to see if everything was okay. He'd tell me she was alright and that she was sleeping. I started getting this weird feeling something was wrong because she must have been hungry or needed a diaper change. He argued that everything was fine. I immediately went home, and when I entered the house I didn't find him. I shouted his name but got nothing. I went into the bedroom and saw that my daughter was awake and her diaper wasn't changed, and worse was that her bottle was even touched. I was confused. I got out and noticed that his office door was closed. I figured he was doing live streaming from the noise I heard. I was beyond seething. I barged into the office and saw him sitting. I blew up while he was trying to turn his mic off and telling me to stop, but I didn't stop. I berated him for leaving our daughter unattended and with no milk or diaper change. He freaked out on me, saying I just ended his entire channel and destroyed his fan base for interrupting his live stream and embarrassing and scandalized him like that. I told him to not say a word, but he kept yelling, calling me out of control and unhinged. He was almost crying, so I had to leave the office. He kept fighting with me till I decided to go stay with my mom. He started blaming me for ignoring his needs after he already expressed them, and that he forgot to do what I asked him and I'd cost him so much. Now keep us telling to come back home because he misses his daughter. Am I the jerk for telling my boyfriend's friends I make twice what he does when they called me a gold digger and he didn't defend me? I'm in a relationship with a guy who also works in tech. He makes $68K and I make $130K. I am a mechanical engineer at a robotics startup. He works at a more stable job doing programming at a large company. He brought me to meet his friends at a party and they asked me about myself. His friends mostly work in tech too and talked about themselves in terms of their jobs. I told them I'm a hiker, I do archery, I love road trips and camping and riding dirt bikes, etc. Talking about my hobbies because work is just a way to get paid to do the stuff I love. It's not how I define myself, and it doesn't come to mind when someone wants me to tell them about myself. One of his friends asked about work and I said, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about work at a party. Spent my whole day sweating my butt off in 95-degree heat trying to replace this busted motor just to find the replacement part. Was also freaked. I wasn't lying or trying to downplay that I have a good job. That is how I spent my day, and I wasn't in the mood to talk shop at a party. Some other conversations came up casually that probably also made me seem poorer, like me saying that car dealership repairs were a ripoff, and telling my boyfriend that my childhood neighbor's trailer caught on fire and I was gonna visit and help her out. I wasn't doing it on purpose, I was just talking about my life, but I guess I gave the impression I was poorer. It got later in the night, everyone was getting drunker, and some of his friends, not close ones though, were making jokes about me growing up in a trailer and being a gold digger. And be ready to jump to a richer guy. Misogynistic stuff, honestly, since they don't even know me and seem to just assume all girls are gold diggers. He didn't say anything. He later said it was because he'd smoked weed and gets quiet and has trouble carrying on a quick conversation when he's high. But regardless, I felt hurt he didn't say anything. I got irritated with his friends and asked, now why the hell would you say that when I make twice what he does? His friends went quiet for a second and I continued saying there ain't no gold to dig here, not with him or anyone at this party. So do y'all think I'm cheap, or do y'all think I'm stupid? My boyfriend wanted to leave the party shortly after and he was pretty upset with me for telling everyone I make twice what he does. I said I would have held my tongue if he'd checked his friends himself. But he didn't say anything, so I wasn't about to let them talk to me like that. He said it was humiliating and now everyone thinks I'm a B-word, and I flippantly said at least they know I'm a rich B-word. He was angry I embarrassed him when I spoke up. I was angry I had to say anything at all because his friends were talking rubbish, so it should be on him to check them. The stuff is still tense. Am I the jerk for explaining why I'm not a gold digger? Am I the jerk for blowing up at my husband for messing with my alarm and causing me to miss my exam? Hello. I, female 23, have been married to my husband, male 26, for a year. I'm in my last year of university and have been so busy for the last 2 weeks, with many projects and finals looming. My husband complains about seeing me studying and not doing activities together or hanging out with friends anymore. I've told him it's not gonna last forever and that I need to focus because this is my last year and it's been the hardest. The day before the exam he wanted me to go with him to a friend's birthday party. I refused because I was busy preparing for my exam. He pleaded with me saying it was just 1 hour and talked about how his friends will be upset if I'm not there. I said no and shut down any further discussions. He got upset and called me selfish and inconsiderate, but then dropped it. Before I went to bed, I set my alarm clock like I always do since I'm a heavy sleeper, plus I stayed up late studying. The next morning I woke up at 9 a.m. I freaked out and checked my alarm and found that it was set to go off at 9:30 a.m. I had no idea how this happened till my husband told me he did this to repay me for refusing to take 1 hour to attend the party, so he took this hour from my time. I couldn't believe it. I blew up at him, just yelling and screaming at him left and right. He just stood there shocked by my reaction and my rage. I got dressed quickly and rushed to the university. They didn't let me into the exam hall. I got into a lot of hassle to get them to reschedule the exam, especially since I had no legit reason as to why I was late. It was awful is all I can say. I went home and my husband and I stopped speaking to each other. He kept acting as if I hurt his feelings and traumatized him by yelling. And that I deserve what he did since he was frustrated with my continual refusal to attend all events for the past 2 weeks. I might be wrong for not considering it, but I think that my exams should be a priority and his way of teaching me a lesson was not right. AITA for going into the ladies' room? I am a 31-year-old man and was at a large store yesterday with my 5-month son when he did what babies do. I went over to the restrooms and saw that there wasn't a family/companion restroom, just a men's and women's. I went into the men's room and saw there was a cubicle and a few urinals, but no changing table. The sink didn't have a counter either. I walked out and hunted down an employee to ask where the changing table was. She said it was in the bathroom, and I asked where, assuming there was a family/companion restroom on the other side of the store. She took me back to where I just was. I asked if there was another bathroom, and she said no. I told her I was just in the bathroom and there was no changing table. She asked if I was sure and suggested I look again. I was annoyed, but I went back to the men's room. No changing table. When I came out, the employee was gone. Keep in mind that my son has been in his poopy diaper this whole time. So I give up and head into the ladies' room, which sure enough had a changing table. There was a woman in there washing her hands, and she said, "Wrong bathroom, buddy." I gestured to my son and said, "No changing table in the men's room." She laughed and said, "Bro, that sucks." Then she walked out. So I rushed to change him, hoping to be done before anyone else walked in. I'm almost done when a woman walks in and starts screaming at me. I tried to explain what I was doing, but she kept screaming, "Get out. You can't be here." Then she ran out. I finished putting the diaper on and rushed out of the bathroom. I saw the woman talking to an employee and decided to leave without my stuff. The employee tried to wave me down and stop me, but I rushed out to my car, buckled my son into his car seat, and left. My wife said I did the right thing, but my mom said I'm an idiot and was 100% in the wrong. My sister won't stop laughing at me and is no help at all. Am I the jerk? Am I the jerk for telling the stepfather who raised me that he's not my dad when he didn't treat me like his son? My mom married my stepfather when I was only 1. He had a 1-year-old son, and then they had a daughter a year later together. My stepbrother and I are 16 now and our half-sister is 14. My stepfather is the only father figure I know and I've always called him Dad. My actual dad is not in my life. Growing up I always noticed that he treated me differently. He never mistreated me, but he was always more interested in his children than me. In fact, he always showed very little interest in me. I've always felt like a second-class family member. My mom treats my stepbrother exactly like me, but my stepfather doesn't do the same for me. Anyway, these last couple of years have been difficult because my stepfather started doing stuff with my siblings, like going on trips, going fishing or hiking, father-children bonding moments as he calls it, and he's never taken me with them despite me asking to go. Initially, he always said maybe next time until I called him out last week and he took me aside and explained that this is for him and his children. I'm not his child like they are. He said he loves me, but it's different. He can't dilute the experience by bringing me as well, but he said my mom can spend some mother-child moments with me and my sister if she wants to as well, and that it would be good for us to have that only for us. This conversation happened on Friday before they went off for a weekend trip. My mom told me that this is how he feels. She can't change it, but she's made sure I'm always treated equally when it comes to money, which is true, but she can't change the way he feels, so I need to accept it. I've been thinking all weekend and it was clear to me that when he doesn't see me as his son, it's wrong of me to see him as my dad. So I decided that if I'm the stepchild he tolerates because of my mom, I'm not going to pretend like we're anything more. I decided to stop calling him Dad and go by his first name. So on Sunday night after they returned I said hi Tom. He was surprised but didn't say anything. At dinner, he asked me what was that about and I explained that I don't want to dilute the experience he has with his real children by calling him Dad when I'm not his son. It's something that should be kept for his actual children. I was told to go to my room by my mom. Later she came to me and said this has hurt him and I should apologize. I said I'm just following his lead and treating him exactly like how he wants to be treated by his actions, and if he's hurt then he should look in the mirror because that's his actions. My mom told me in the end that this is the man who has raised me all my life and I need to apologize and show remorse. She says he's 95% of the way toward being a dad to me. I shouldn't ignore all of that and focus on the missing 5% and reject him entirely. I declined and said he's the one who needs to apologize if he wants things to change between us. Am I being the jerk in this situation?